Oh, good morning, yay. Well, it's a lovely view. But beyond that tree, the tree that you see, how you see that tree is about to enlighten you to your very nature as consciousness being. That's where we're going with this. Your complete realization that you are consciousness being. Oh my goodness, yay. Once again, the view of the tree on the retina of this gigantic model eyeball. Yay. Yay. Hi again. Okay, so we've just seen an image formed on the retina of a large model of an eyeball, human eye. And the question now is, what happens to this image? How is it processed in our vision system? The answer to this is incredibly significant because it takes us all the way to the very nature of being. The whole purpose of this channel is to present to you the aspect of your own nature as being. And this vision process is a huge part of that, which is what makes it so amazing and so important in what you're finding out, what you're discovering. To do this, I'm going to make room here for an image. Put it right here on the screen. All right, here we have it. On the lower left, at the lower left, you see what is representing an actual physical tree. All right, it's just my sketch. But think of this as an actual tree, like the one you saw through the window. And on the right, the lower right, you see the eyeball. You see the lens focusing the light coming from the tree. You're seeing green light coming from the top tip and ending up in the bottom of the image. Brown light coming from the base of the trunk, ending up on the upside down top part of the image. And that image that we see here in this drawing is read out. That is, it's scanned, and it's sent out as an optical, rather as an electrical signal. The image information is preserved, but it goes out as an electrical signal. It's really important to notice here that the light from the real tree, from the physical world tree on the left, that light stops at the retina of the eye. It's just extinguished there. Instead, it's converted, the energy of that light is converted to electrical energy. And that electrical energy then is read out and sent on to the visual cortex at the back of the brain. Often if you ask someone, where did we see that image, they'll reach back and say, I don't know, maybe here. I've drawn it as an image. It doesn't mean the visual cortex is processing it in a way that we would see it as an image, but it's processing it. So my little graphic of an image there is just suggestive. Now, the visual cortex is not the be-all, end-all in this analysis. We need to invoke another stage, a further stage, where let's just use the term mind. I like to think of mind as the model maker. Mind takes this image information. Keep in mind, there's an image coming from each eye. We have the two eyes, so we can get stereoscopic three-dimensional vision. Mind is what processes that into 3 dimensions. You may want to think of mind as being in the brain, or mind as not being in the brain. It doesn't matter at this point. We're going to discuss mind eventually. But we're using the term. We're just saying that there is a final stage of processing of this image information by mind. And this processing amounts to a display processing. It's getting it ready for display. And once it is, that image information is sent to the consciousness display, where it appears. It appears in this display in full detail. And that's illustrated by the image in the upper left. The pale blue surrounding that is intended to simply reference consciousness. The image displaying in consciousness is exactly what we see. That is the image we see. But I've shown it here above the real world object so that you get a definite understanding that we're dealing with two entirely different things with those two identical images, identical appearances of a tree. The one on the bottom left, the physical world object. The one above left, the consciousness displaying appearance. The two are essentially an exact match. But I'm showing them separately here. Now the arrow beneath the blue arrow pointing down simply indicates that the entire appearance, the entire consciousness display image is actually superimposed over the physical world object. It is what we're seeing. And that is incredibly difficult to even begin to comprehend. But if you ask yourself, what are the eyes for? Well, they're to be able to see. And if you ask yourself, what am I seeing? Then indeed, you're seeing only what's in front of you. The scene that you see in front of you, you instinctively take to be the actual physical world, what I call the object world. But the real fact of the matter is that what you are actually seeing in that scene is an appearance field, a field of appearances, of visual appearances that are exactly superimposed over the physical objects of the physical world. So we're really experiencing a consciousness domain as our primary experiencing. So I want to give you a way to see that for yourself and to understand it, to prove it to yourself. The best way that I know how to do this is with reading glasses. If you have reading glasses, now's the time to get them out and put them on if you're not already wearing them. If you don't have reading glasses, and you don't need reading glasses, then find yourself on the internet or otherwise just a cheap pair of reading glasses. They need to be about a 4.0 diopter. Needs to be plenty strong to make this work nicely. And when you get them, do what we're showing right now. So if you have them handy, just go ahead and put your reading glasses on. And now instead of looking at something that you'd be reading right in front of you, look out across the room. Look out across the space in front of you, and you'll see that everything appears fuzzy, out of focus. Now, my apologies. I know this is very uncomfortable, but do it. Now I want you to understand what's happening. When you put the reading glasses on, the power of the lens added to the power of your eye, the lens system in your eye. And that additional power causes the focal point of the optical system in your eye to fall in front of, to be pulled in front of the retina. And so the light coming through the lens to the of your eye focuses too short and begins to expand before it reaches the retina. So the image on the retina then becomes defocused, fuzzy. And that's exactly what you're seeing, that fuzzy retinal image, which is all you've ever seen, just the retinal image. But most of the time it's a nice sharp focus, and so it's easy to take it to be the physical world, which is what our brain is convincing us to do. That actually happens in the second stage of things. But right now, as you look through your glasses and see that fuzziness, I want you to contemplate very strongly that, oh my goodness, this is indeed an appearance of that out of focus image on the retina of my eye. I can't believe it, but I see it, and that's the only explanation. And indeed, that is exactly the explanation for the fuzziness of that image. So, in this very simple way, very, very easy way, we have demonstrated that the appearance that you see in front of you is not the physical world, not the object world at all, but is a display of appearances arising in a consciousness medium, a clear consciousness medium. And the next thing we want to discuss, to present, is the nature of that medium. I refer to it as consciousness because we are aware of it. And that awareness, which we think to be our own, it is our own through one amazing modality, and that is being. It's ours if you think of us as being. It actually is an aspect of the display itself. The clear space that you see in front of me is clear consciousness It has this awareness built in, but we don't see the awareness out there. We feel the awareness around our eyes. We feel as if we're aware right here. But I want you to notice something. I want you to try something. I want you to look in the clear space in front of you and notice that clear, and then notice the awareness in your eyes, and now bring that clear right into the awareness of your eyes. And you immediately got a sense of your vision widening, and it also became clearer, more lucid. And now your awareness, if you'll notice, extends. It doesn't feel like it's right here, and it feels like it's all through everything, which it actually is. So here you've demonstrated to yourself, and do this again and again. It's quite interesting when you do it and feel that happening. That awareness is part and parcel of this clear displaying that we see in front of us. Now, when we talk about the displaying, we're talking about the upper picture, the tree in the upper left, and not the physical object in the lower left. We're talking about that appearance and consciousness. So that's what we're really experiencing visually, is simply that consciousness appearance field. And the thing that is so significant, truly amazing about this is that's just a huge part of our experiencing. That's a huge part of our experiencing. I'm going to let this go. So, yay. Yay. Now, with that, you've actually been introduced to two aspects, in fact, all three aspects of your beingness. The first thing really to notice here is the clear space. Now, it's not the first thing we notice when we look with our eyes and see things. When we do that, we're noticing the appearances arising. So that's one part of it. The clear is what these appearances arise in. It's just empty consciousness, but it has the potential to manifest any kind of appearance, even appearance of sound, appearance of any of your senses, all of your senses, and the appearance of thought. So when you think and you hear in your mind the thoughts going on, that sensing of thoughts in your mind, seem like in your head, that is also appearing to you in the display. It's not the brain thoughts themselves that you're experiencing directly. They're sent to mind, and mind sends them to display, and we experience the thoughts in display. We experience our emotions in display. We experience everything in display. The only thing we don't experience in display is the physical push, the resistance of the physical world, the physics of things. It's consciousness that we experience in display, not the physical world itself. The physical world we feel. That's the pressure that pushes on us, that we feel on the bottom of our feet, that we feel in a seat when we sit down. Or we bump into something, or we push on something. That pushback is the physical world, the physical object itself. But at the same time you're doing that, superimposed on that is an appearance that is coming from the retinal image, all the way through the processing and being superimposed on the physical object so that you see it. But you don't actually see it. We've never seen the world. This is the most amazing thing. we've always only seen our appearance representing that physical object. So this what you just heard is the pointing out to you for, I'm pretty sure, the very first time of this waking, full-time waking experience of your nature as beingness, because those three aspects are part and parcel the nature of experiential beingness. And that's a good 90% of our life experiencing. In other words, we're actively experiencing as being. It's just it's just a phenomenal thing. Yay. I think at this point, I'm going to sign off with this, because I want to come back and pick up on aspects, but I want you to contemplate everything that we've just gone through and see for yourself how you are experiencing your own experiencing beingness. You can process this and you'll see that everything we've discussed is absolutely the way it is. That retinal image, that physical object out there producing, reflecting light, intercepted by the lens of the eye, focused into an image on the retina, transformed into electrical signal and sent to the brain, or from the brain sent, who knows how, to mind, and from mind sent, who knows how, to consciousness for display. And the one thing we know for sure, beyond that retinal image, is yes, we are seeing that retinal image displaying out there in front of us. And that's indeed what we've always been seeing. Always. So I'm going to leave you with that. I mean, it's a big yay. It's a lot to process, but processing that puts you, if I might use an astronomical term, light years ahead of where we were 10 minutes ago. Oh my God. Yay, bless. I'll let you go.